Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to Vince. Vince is retired, and I don't know what they're calling the show anymore. I'm assuming they're going to call it Hunter's World or something. What are we talking? What's happening?
Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is your NXT post-show review here at Fightful for July 26th. We thank you so much for joining us. Get in those super chats, get in those humper chats. What the heck is a humper chat, one might ask? Well, a humper chat functions just like a super chat, except we get to keep a little bit more money here at Fightful. It helps Alex and I get a little bit of a pay bump. It helps us bring in a little more kashish here at Fightful. So we appreciate, I know that interface can be a little wonky over there, but we appreciate it so much when you guys take the time to figure it out and send in humper chats to us. And buddy, if there was ever a time to subscribe to Fightful Select, like almost 8,000 of your other friends, now would be the time. Holy cow, there's a lot of breaking news going on over there. Of course, about the Vince McMahon story, some really interesting stuff on there about Vince's behavior in creative meetings before his departure. Some updates on some free agent talent and some talent that has signed elsewhere and departed since 2016 about their thoughts and feelings if Triple H had taken over sooner. So definitely worth subscribing to, because there's, of course, the most breaking news in wrestling, but there's also some just fun, more detailed pieces if you're fans of that stuff that Sean's been working on for you guys. And of course, heading into Starcast weekend, I'm sure you're going to get more updates on what will definitely be Ric Flair's final match. I'm sure if he survives it, there's no way he'll do his own retirement tour. No way. But please, please, please subscribe to Fightful Select, because it provides a great value to you. But also, I like round numbers. So if we can get to 8,000 by the weekend, that would be really, really nice, because just round off that 8,000 to make me feel good so that I can sleep at night. We appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, back to you, Alex.
Thank you. That was much more streamlined than I could have done. It's a brand new era in the WWE
ish so far.
Well, it is a brand new era. We'll see how new the brand new era is, how different it is from the old era, but it's a brand new era. I don't know if it's a brand new era in NXT. It's not like, we're going to turn back the clock to 1.5.
No, unfortunately.
So there's some stuff that doesn't make a whole lot of sense still, and we'll talk about it.
Sure. But some glimmers of hope, which was cool.
Yes. There was some. We will talk about it. But thank you very much. Get in your super chats and humper chats. We'll be reading them all week. All week.
Oh my gosh!
All night.
And I also forgot to plug Twitch, Alex.
Yes, we got to plug Twitch.
Twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming and support us there. There's a lot of really fun content going on over there, and you can send in bits to support us, and I always forget to plug it. So if you could go over there and leave a thumbs up on this video. We're asking so much of you guys today, but it's been a big week.
JW Pringle starts us off with hosts with the most, Council of Marks, Papa Paul Elizabeth, all of SGS, acknowledge trees. They help the planet by giving us CO2.
Acknowledge trees.
What a crazy era. Let's go ahead and throw in the chat other things that rhyme with me that you should acknowledge.
Bees.
Yes, they like, really, without bees, the whole world just shuts down. So we need to acknowledge bees and create more pollinator gardens. Your lawn is useless. Instead, transform it into a pollinator garden, which will help the bees, which will sustain life on Earth. So yes, acknowledge bees.
You know what Eddie Kingston would say?
Acknowledge bees.
Yes! Bees. Very good.
Yes. Yeah.
Acknowledge these nuts. What are we doing?
I don't know, man. It's just this is what Tuesdays is. We cope. Yeah. We'll talk. Let's do this real quick here. It's been a hell of a week.
Acknowledge Azeez, the commander. Sorry. Okay, continue.
By the way, let's talk about that now. Since you brought him up, acknowledge Azeez. He was working alongside Cora Jade on NXT house shows this past weekend. And I want to know my favorite question. To what end? I don't understand how you have a giant guy as the bodyguard for Cora Jade. What's he going to do? Chokeslam Roxanne Perez? What is he going to do? What can he do for her? Stand there and like, but what is he? They're not going to let him get physical with any of the women that she's going to feud with. So it's a completely ridiculous thing to have him do. I mean, right? Am I wrong about that? Like, I don't understand what function he serves as a bodyguard or a heavy for a female character if he can't hurt the female characters that are fighting his charge. Maybe they have boyfriends he could beat up, but I don't. Just Roxanne Perez doesn't have a boyfriend. It says so in canon. They said so in that one scene last week. She doesn't have a husband or a boyfriend. I don't think that's what they said.
Maybe his only function is to help her get through the NXT parking lot. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's like, I'm just gonna escort you to your car because I'm a good dude.
Maybe she's gonna ride on his shoulders to the ring, you know, like a cool looking, like Master Blaster or something, you know.
There you go. Yeah, that makes no sense.
Do you know what Master Blaster is, or are you just trying to play along?
I don't know.
Okay, good.
I didn't know if I wanted to go there. It seems weird.
It's a character from Mad Max 2, the Road Warrior.
I honestly assumed it was a Simpsons reference, so I just roll with those because then everybody says, you never watched The Simpsons? And I say, no, I didn't. Accept that about me or perish. That's aggressive.
It's going to be Cora and Azeez versus Roxy and Apollo eventually. That's what they're going to do.
Don't put that into... Like, guys, you got to stop. You're very powerful manifestors, which I appreciate. But you got to stop putting stuff like this into the universe.
Paul Elizabeth, we got hosts pimping bees and Sir Pringle pimping trees. It is a new world.
My dad rules.
Yeah, sure, it's so true. Yeah. Nathan DePaul says, acknowledge cheese. I love cheese. I am mildly lactose intolerant, but that doesn't stop me from eating cheese on literally everything because I hate my body. And I don't know. The Battered to One Jam Beard says, acknowledge women's and trans rights. Now that doesn't rhyme, but it is something we must acknowledge, truthfully.
Acknowledge these rights that you talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So we started out with a Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark comes out and she cuts a fiery babyface promo. I thought she did a fine job with this. I don't think we got to see her cut a lot of promos in her time before the injury.
No, she was doing dumb tag team sushi crap.
But even before that, even before they were like, Zoe Stark, would you like to team with Io Shirai for no reason? Even before that, she wasn't cutting promos. She was mostly just kneeing chicks in the face really hard.
Which is also very much has its place, by the way.
Yeah, that's mostly what I'm into. Like,
big fan.
But yeah. So we had her talking about how when she tore her ACL and MCL. This is what they say. Now, again, they've been known to lie about injuries and about how long the injury. They may have been a tear, but not a really bad tear. And they may have told her, you'll be back in 6 months. And she got back in 7 or whatever. And they would never tell us that. What they have to tell us is, they told me that my career was almost ended, and if I ever got back in the ring, it wouldn't be for 15 to 28 months, and here I am back. And like, honestly, I don't care. But it is kind of funny that they've made me distrust them so much that I can't just be happy for Zoe Stark coming back from an injury, because I don't know if they've told her to lie about the details of how long she was supposed to be out.
It's also just weird because, of course, stuff like that requires intensive physical therapy, but there's also this huge proponent of it that you have no control over, which is how fast your body heals. So them making it like, if you just wish it hard enough and do your physical therapy as directed, you, as a babyface, can come back sooner from injury. But I will say, one of the first things that I've noticed immediately since the beginning of yesterday's Raw is, in the Triple H era, people speak like they're human beings, and they're allowed to sound natural in their promos. I really liked this from Zoe Stark. It was kind of generic, but generic and good is something that all day. Like, I was just trying to close the gap to watchable, and the fact that they've done that kind of in a week has been good. But like, from Roman's opening promo yesterday, I was like, oh my God, people sound like human beings again. And the performers seem like they feel more comfortable too. I know that piped in crowd noise can really, really, really trip up promos, because you have to hit your marks exactly, because someone's waiting to press play on crowd noise, which is ridiculous. And, you know, some people just thrive. Some people need scripted promos, I think, and then other people thrive with just bullet points and going out there and sounding like a natural human being. So that's been really refreshing to have that back on television. And I felt like Zoe Stark opening tonight showed us more of that.
Yeah, I thought this was fine. I liked a lot of the fire she showed about happy to be back, and she's going to take the title off of Mandy, because in storyline, actuality, she did hurt her knee in the match against Toxic Attraction, but it wasn't like they did anything to actually hurt her knee. She landed wrong.
Correct.
So, but like, and they took me out. They didn't, but okay. And then Cora Jade appears in the Raven's Nest. And this is less of a good promo. Was very, very screechy. It's not her fault. This is how they have women heels, especially young women heels. Like, if Liv Morgan ever turns heel, this is how she's going to be scripted. Even with Vince gone, this is how she's going to be scripted. This is how she's going to sound. It was my moment. You ruined my moment. And then that is interrupted by she's upset because Zoe eliminated her from the Battle Royal. Like, you're not allowed to win the Battle Royal. Only I am allowed to win the Battle Royal. She eliminated you fair and square. It's a weird thing to be upset about, but I get it. She's a heel and therefore a sore loser, ipso facto. Then Toxic Attraction comes out. Blah, 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 blah. You're not even going to make it to what they're now deeming NXT Heatwave in 3 weeks.
For the love of God, give us the takeover nomenclatures back. Before I have to sit through another one of these cheesy ass names, please. Take over place or number. Please.
Yeah. But anyway, Gigi Dolin says, I'm going to beat you tonight, and I'm going to put you back on the shelf, and then you'll be hurt, and you won't be able to have your match versus Mandy Rose 3 weeks. Okay. Zoe Stark's like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that. Let's have a match. I'd like to have a match back. Sounds great. So there we go. Tony D has a backstage stuff, and I love that now it appears, as we're getting further into this, as Santos convalesces in his hospital bed, his charges, Walking Wild and Cruz del Toro are becoming more and more accepted into the family. They have matching gear. They're like all about it. I thought this was really good. We also got Grayson Waller cutting a promo on us, the people at home watching, which was just like stop scrolling, waiting for that hoe to follow you back. I mean, I don't know how he it's like he could see me personally. Like, I don't understand how he knows me so well.
He's in your head.
He's scrolling, waiting. I was just scrolling, waiting for that hoe to follow me back. But anyway, it was very.
Or is it like it's a watch pot never boils situation?
Well, that's the whole thing. You got to get off the phone. The hoes only follow you back when you're not. Yeah.
A watched hoe never follows, as the old saying goes.
Yeah, a watched hoe never follows back. So this was all very off-putting. I don't know if it was because it was Grayson Waller or because it was new. Like, they did this again later, like right after this, where Tony D'Angelo cut a promo directly into the camera, not to me as sitting at home, although that would have been nice, but to the Creeds instead. I was like, hey, you listen, you Diamond Mine, the Creeds, you better know that the D'Angelos run this town, or something like that. And it was good. But I was like, I didn't understand why we decided to do those things back to back. It's not a normal thing that they do unless it's like, I don't know. Here we're set up here. Like later we get a Mr. Stone and Von Wagner thing, which we'll talk about in detail later, but they're standing there and they're talking to the camera. That's fine, as opposed to like, I am over here, I am talking to you over here, but now I'm going to talk to you, the camera. That's not a thing that I've normally see them do, and it was kind of off-putting.
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to do what like old NWA, and I guess to an extent current NWA does, but it wasn't like at a podium, it was backstage. So it just felt like a little weird. That isn't their normal style, but I'll take this over the high school theater that they normally give us backstage. I think maybe they were trying to simplify, and this still didn't necessarily read right, but it did feel a little bit off, and I didn't like them doing them back to back, but there's worse things that have happened on the show, so I'll take it.
Sure. It's one of those things that it felt like, hey, we're trying this new thing. Do you like it? And the answer is no.
Correct.
I don't like it. Do a different thing. But thank you for trying something new. Thank you for trying something new. Always appreciated. Also, some new things are bad things and should not be done a second time.
Correct. And there's a happy medium between like, hey, I'm backstage and delivering a promo like this, and hello, Tony D'Angelo, whatever. Like there's a balance that you have to strike there. So
yeah. So we got our promised Grayson Waller versus Wes Lee match. I really like Wes Lee. I really do. I think he's spectacular in the ring. I think he's got a natural quality that makes people want to root for him. Small, but he's super athletic. He's like watching Spider-Man run around in there. It's great. At some point, because this is their MO, at some point, after all of these consecutive losses that you've booked him to take, you're going to ask me to take him seriously as a contender for a major title. And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I don't take him seriously because you booked him to lose 17 matches out of his last 20. And I just, no. I don't care if you found a way to make it believable or what. No, just Wes Lee is a guy who should be winning matches en route to what is eventually, I think, going to be a title match versus Carmelo Hayes, simply because of stuff that they've got him doing with Trick Williams. Along the way, he should be winning matches so that what they're going to do is he's going to beat Trick Williams once, eventually. And that one victory over Carmelo Hayes' buddy is going to get him a title shot. And I'm going to say no, because you also booked him along the way to lose a bunch of matches to Xyon, Quinn, and Grayson Waller, Trick Williams before he beat Trick Williams. So what this is it's a fine little match. Grayson Waller is decent in the ring, and Wes Lee's fantastic to watch. But the whole thing happens at the end where Wes Lee winds up on the outside, and a guy stands up in the first row wearing a full sweatsuit and an overcoat with a hood in the middle of July in Florida. And he also happens to be wearing 2 loaded boxing gloves. And he cracks.
Not suspicious at all.
No. Also, not the worst thing to happen in the crowd on this episode. That goes to Jade.
Not even close.
But Trick Williams is revealed as the man in all of the stuff that he is wearing. He punches Wes Lee in the back of the head. Wes Lee.
The man in all of the stuff. I'm just like hearing Regal, the man with the mask. Can you say the man?
Hello, the man with all of the stuff that you are wearing.
I like it.
Trick Williams. Anyway, punches Wes Lee in the back of the head. Wes Lee barely gets back into the ring, and then Grayson Waller gets out of the ring so that he can dive back into the ring, do a somersault, and hit a stunner. So Grayson Waller gets to celebrate like he actually accomplished something, which sucks for me because I hate Grayson Waller. And also Trick Williams cost Wes Lee a match, which I don't like. Here's the other thing, though, Kate. Do you remember what happened in the Apollo Crews and Giovanni Vinci match last week, I believe?
You mean as far as a finish?
The finish, yeah. Do you remember how that
they had
ended?
Lose, right?
Yeah, but do you remember why?
No.
Why? Because Zion Quinn jumped out of the front row of the crowd and clocked him on the outside.
That's right.
It's the exact same finish that you used to protect 2 different guys
a week ago
in consecutive weeks. Come on, like you guys have. I know you have a playbook with more than one play in it. Come on, like what are we doing?
Sometimes people also get beat up in the parking lot. They have 2 plays.
Man, like Jesus.
I forgot. You know what? I'm sorry. Zion Quinn is just pretty forgettable to me sure. Let that one fly.
But yes. they expect us all to forget it.
Yes.
Because if we do, then we don't care. We don't see that they're running the same play every week over and over again.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty egregious. Like, but we don't want to. We have Giovanni Vinci versus Apollo Crews. We don't want either of them to take a loss. So we're going to do this thing, It's doesn't really count. Not really a loss.
If you don't want either of them to take the loss, don't book it. It's like actually that simple. But I can't unsee Grayson Waller's finisher because all the superfluous stuff doesn't help him at all either. Just like the lethal injection with Jay Lethal, it doesn't help you. Just to hit the stunner. Like it's fine. Just do that inside the ring. Also, and this is largely AEW's fault, I am so over stupid referees. I can't. I'm sorry you're asking me to believe that a referee is that dumb and also that your security staff is that stupid that they weren't suspicious of this guy in the front row.
No.
With boxing gloves on.
Yeah.
And a full sweatsuit. But Wes Lee is really good. I would prefer he just go up to the main roster. There's going to be a while here where if they are going to make the changes that we hope they do, it's just tricky because now they have to close the gap between all of the crap that they've built, right? So Wes Lee has a history of losing. He lost today. And if you're going to ask me to believe he's a viable contender, you would have to book him strong for like another 3 months before you did that. And they're probably not going to have the patience for that because I think they know what they have in Wes Lee. But a decent enough match. Like Grayson Waller did some weird stuff in this match. There was one spot, I forget what it even was, but I was just like, what are you doing in the ring right now? Like just a little bizarre, which is not normally the thing I dislike about him. Normally he's fine in the ring, but I'm interested to see what happens moving forward. Like, I love your idea of a Wes Lee Ricochet tag team so much. I think that would be so much fun and so interesting. And in general, I just don't know, because there's a new regime in place here, what to expect as far as who's getting called up, when they're getting called up, like what any of that looks like. And with guys who don't have titles right now but are main roster ready, I'm like, well, are you going to sit around and put people over before you go up? Or are you going to get called up after SummerSlam to inject new life into the roster? Like, I have no idea what to expect for anyone. Wes Lee was dealt such a crappy hand that I would love for him to go be a challenger for like Gunther or something. Like, I would love to see him have some main roster success, because I feel like if he wasn't dealt the hand that he was dealt, he would be up there already. Like, I think the Rascals were probably poised to move up.
He has some history with Gunther. Not that they actually would ever carry over history between Imperium and what were they called? MSK. But I also still love the idea of him and Ricochet.
Yes.
The problem is that this is a thing currently, and I don't feel like you can have those two tag teams coexisting at the same time, at least on the same brand.
I was gonna say different programs, maybe, if you had one of each on both shows, but right now you have unified undisputed tag team belt, blah blah blahs.
Mustafa Ali and Cedric have been teaming on main event, and they've been winning matches. Go figure. I think they're great together. We know they have fantastic chemistry from their days in 205 Live. I just
against each other. My God,
and against each other too. Yeah. That would be the great. Anyway, Nathan DePaul says, do you think Grayson Waller could defeat a kangaroo in one-on-one combat?
I think it depends on the kangaroo.
I don't. I think the worst fighting kangaroo in the world would beat Grayson Waller within like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
even if it's a little baby one.
Yeah. Have you seen those little pink things that crawl around in their mama's pouch? I think one of those could probably has a chance to take on Grayson Waller. The kangaroo. Luis says the kangaroo is going to hit Waller with a package pile driver.
Well, then that's it. That's the ball game.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Okay? So here we go. We got an interview with the Schism, and I just want you to review the lukes that these men were serving, while I go and find a picture of the kangaroo that I'm going to book against Grayson Waller.
You would. So the lukes, like creepy executive, I think is a good term. What did Henry Casey, if you're in the chat, you don't have to super chat it, but just tell me what you called them, because I forgot, because it was so funny. I laughed really, really hard. I mean, they looked like they were in button-up shirts, but also in a cult. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, they definitely have located a razor, and they definitely have gotten their contact prescribed. But I don't know. Lobotomized executives. That's what it was. They look like lobotomized executives. That's the perfect way to say it. It just was a little... Like, if I was walking down the street and saw that guy, I would be extremely confused. I'm like, is he on a lunch break from work, or is he going to kill someone but wanted to be fancy doing it?
That's a good question.
However, with this segment, they did something I didn't hate. You want to hear what it was?
Please tell me.
They said basically why they were preying on Cameron Grimes, which was that he lost his father and didn't have a father figure, and that's why he should join. And I was like, oh my God, we got a reason for why they're targeting him, which is just so helpful to the credibility of Joe Gacy here, because GYV just joined him for reasons completely unexplained. They're just creepy and weird now. But yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't show up with a similar look at one point,
Yeah.
I'm going to be really disappointed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm definitely not shaving the beard, but other than that, let's see if I can
get a weird contact.
How cheap those white contact lenses are. maybe around Halloween. So this is so if they ever do one of those super showdowns in Australia again, I'm booking Grayson Waller against the hometown hero, Roger the Kangaroo. And this dude's going to take Grayson Waller's head clean off his shoulders with one clothesline. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait.
In NXT, Waller be darned, Grayson Waller fights a kangaroo.
Yeah, this is the one.
That dude's jacked, though.
He's jacked. No, he definitely lifts.
He could knock anybody's block off. My goodness.
Do you even lift, bro? And the answer is yes.
Beach season, bro. Hey, you know what that kangaroo probably does? Because he's so jacked. He probably has a lot of protein.
He probably does.
Like if he were the kind of kangaroo that delighted in a delicious cereal, it wouldn't be the sugary cereals that we normally get. It would be a protein-packed alternative that Sean Ross Sapp is here to tell you all about.
Do you like cereal but hate all the junk that's associated with it? Well, MagicSpoon.com/Fightful has you covered. Save $5 off your order when you get a custom bundle, custom box right now. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs per serving. Only 140 calories per serving. Keto-friendly, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and gluten-free. And right now you can build your own box. Not just right now, anytime. Blueberry, cinnamon, honey nut, maple waffle, cookies and cream, cocoa fruity frosted peanut butter. All the flavors you loved growing up. And how about this? A money-back guarantee. If for some reason you don't like it or you just want your money back, MagicSpoon.com/Fightful does that. Not only is it great in the mornings, it's great for a snack throughout the day, a midnight snack as well, without having all those carbs and unhealthy parts of cereal. MagicSpoon.com/Fightful.
So also, we should have like a gauntlet match for Grayson Waller. That would be the Grayson Kangaroo is the final one, but there's also be Grayson Wallaby and also Grayson Koala. So you're gonna have to fight a koala. I got my money on the koala.
That's rough. I feel like he could beat a koala.
I don't know, man. Those koalas, man, they eat a lot of eucalyptus. Matthew Plus is giving us a baseball stat line, and I don't know why. It says 2 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 2 home runs, and a walk. Is that happening? Is the Yankees?
Subway Series, yeah.
Oh, I get it. Okay,
it's fine though.
Great. Are you pleased with the $10 you spent to say all that, Matthew Plus?
Does it bother you that I'm so unbothered by you, Matthew Plus? Because I am. And Matthew Plus, who shared with us that he went on an expensive date that went nowhere, still shelling out $10 just to insult me. You need to hurt me so much more than you should. Because I'm fine. I'm fine over here with my 14 game lead in the division. The Mets want to beat us up tonight. That's okay. Do you know how much we don't care about this series? We're throwing Domingo Herman out there against Matt Scherzer tomorrow. It's fine. Keep sending us your money.
It's Jordan Montgomery's landing against the Mets tonight.
It's okay. It's a 162 game season, and we have a firm grasp on the division. Aaron Judge is still hitting dingers. Living life.
The Battle to One Jam Beard says Waller versus Rocco with Mr. Big Head as the guest referee.
I think that's fantastic.
It's a better referee than Jeff Jarrett's going to be. I'll tell you that much.
Was a better referee than the guy who missed boxing glove man taking out Wes Lee today.
Whatever. Mark Quill says Grayson Waller's probably never even played Knifey Spoony before, which is a Simpsons reference.
Send in all your Simpsons references. More importantly, go subscribe to Fightful Select, because when we had our commercial break, I checked, and we're 27 away, and I just want to be at 8,000.
So Cameron Grimes in the Schism. I did appreciate that that Rip Fowler, formerly known as Zach Gibson, says like, and we will soon be recognized. Like, he doesn't have to like yell soon to be recognized anymore. He just says we will soon be recognized. So at least he gets to keep the catchphrase.
He does. He'll probably be recognized in like 10,000 days, though.
Yeah.
That's all you Tula fans out there.
Nerd Guru says, if Cameron Grimes were to get called up, I have full confidence that guy could get me so hyped for a match between him and Roman Reigns. The promos he cut on Bron were so good. I'd love to see it happen with Roman. Now it's more possible. Here's you want to hear my new dream opponent for Roman Reigns to take the title off of him? Johnny Gargano.
Oh, yeah. I think there's a lot of people whose dream that is all of the sudden.
I mean, that was Hunter's boy, man. Like, that was it. They were so tight. And he's like, he probably could be thinking about, well, the kid's getting older now. I'm off of paternity leave. Maybe I'll go back and see what's out there. And like, that's a thing like that. You're not going to find a more pure underdog babyface in the world right now than Johnny Gargano. I don't know how you do it, how you book it, how you make it work, but that's the guy that you book that everyone eventually goes nuts over to beat Roman Reigns. I mean, that's what I want. That's what I want. I want it.
I kind of just want DIY back.
Matthew Plus says, I'd rather eat 20 steamed hams than listen to this. That, of course, is another Simpsons reference.
Keep sending them in.
Ariana Grace
is so bad at talking.
Did something. I don't know what this was. It was like, just like she's...
Hey, I don't particularly like you. What? Whoa, what happened here?
It was not great. But she's not a great promo. And Indy, she blames Indy Hartwell for costing her the Battle Royal last week, and Indy shows up and, hey, let's have a match tonight. And then she's like, oh my God, she was so rude. You all saw it. All of you other players who are also here, who definitely have names who I know and are friends of mine. She was so rude. But I will have to have a match with her, I suppose, later. I was at a beauty pageant once, so I know all about bullies. Or something, I don't know what she said.
What?
I don't know.
So bad. Indy, I thought, was really good. Indy, I think, took whatever liberty she had to maybe have a little bit more promo freedom, because she just kind of came in with an attitude and left. And thank God she came in when she did. She basically was like, this isn't ballet, or in your case, a beauty pageant. It's pro wrestling. But she didn't say pro wrestling, because we're not there yet. But we did get to say the word hospital later.
Baby steps. Baby steps. The Better to One Jam Beard says that we need to give the Akira Tozawa and T-Bar tag team a push. And I thought that they need to just get rid of the T-Bar name because it's stupid and go back to calling them Dijak. And then they could be called Dijakira.
Oh, I was thinking Akira T-Zawa, like for T-Bar.
I like mine better. Apollo Crews has a match with Xyon Quinn, and nobody interfered. Thank God.
That was neat.
He won with the old Farouk Spinebuster, which has now become the Bobby Lashley Spinebuster, which has never been a finisher by anybody ever. It's like a pop-up one-arm push-down spine buster. I've never seen him win a match with that. I don't know if he can't do the toss power bomb on Xyon Quinn. Like, I don't know why that's not a thing that he was able to do for this match. If they're trying to they're going to try out a new finisher, literally a guy that Apollo Crews feuded with for several months in 2020 uses that thing in minute 7 of a 15-minute match. Like, it's not a thing that you need to. That shouldn't be his finisher. Like, I like Apollo Crews. I think it's cool that he's back in NXT. I think there's a story to tell with him finally getting to pay off all the potential that he had in NXT, coming back years later. I just don't think this is the finisher to do it.
You know what I think? I think if you're going to try and bust a lady's spine and you need some help, that there is a specific pill out there if you need assistance with busting her spine. You know what I mean?
Hello. Is your penis limp? Would you like it to be erect? Fortunately, BlueChew.com and the code Fightful is going to help you out an awful lot. Maybe you're having trouble with that. Maybe you just want the confidence. Well, BlueChew.com and the code Fightful is right for you. Free. Your first order is free. You just pay $5 shipping. There are a few other steps you go through. You consult with the online physician. If approved, it's shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. But your first shipment is free with the code Fightful. It's got the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. But they work on your schedule or whenever you're not ready and you want to be ready, whenever the mood arises. It's in a chewable form, very easy, very simple. Help yourself out. Give yourself that confidence with BlueChew.com and the code Fightful.
You proud of yourself?
I'm so proud of myself. I like that in those recorded ads, Sean gives me every avenue to do a segue about confidence. And I just go for if you want to bust her spine.
His or her spine?
You know what? That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I had nothing to say about the match, which is why I was like, I'm just going to throw it to Blue Chew ad because we have 3 tonight to get through.
Yeah. Rod and Luis says that we should have saved that Blue Chew backbreaker segment throw thing for Roddy Strong, the Roddy Strong match in honor of the master of the backbreaker, the master of busting spines.
That's an extremely fair point, and I will take that into consideration moving forward. I love everybody in the chat calling me the new rated R superstar. Thank you. I promise I'll never turn to House of Blood.
Mortal Kombat fatality with that segue, says Battle to One Jam Beard. Jade Prickle, do you want to give your lady or gentleman a backbreaker? Blue Chew could be for you.
It's true. Yeah, I feel like I did wrong by Roddy.
It's okay. It's okay.
I know, but his last name is Strong too. There's so many avenues.
Well, then you could have used him as the protein, because if he's so strong, he would have to.
I get it. Okay. I was too early on the segues, but if you don't want to arrive too early, go to BlueChew.com. Use the code Fightful.
Arrive. That was good. That was good that you used the thesaurus there. Arrive too early. That's nice. Very subtle. Wait, hold on. About
subtle
as subtle
as a freight train.
About as subtle as this. Just about as subtle as that.
Balls. It's a purse shaped like balls for all your ball promo needs. Are you doing a promo in WWE? You're going to need to talk about balls or bitches. Be a bitch with balls with Maurice's purse on Raw.
Are you a bitch? Do you want to talk about balls? Then use this purse. It's bedazzled.
It's ball dazzled.
It's bitch dazzled.
It's bitch ball dazzled.
Okay, so
our background is gone.
Sorry. Hold on,
it's not your fault. That's just.
Hold on, wrestling writer. There
I'm not a wrestling writer. I'm Kate.
You're a wrestling writer.
I don't even write about wrestling.
No, it's true. Hey, there's a backstage thing where they they interview Roxanne. No, we'll do this in a different order. So they're interviewing. They're talking to Gigi Dolin about how she's going to beat up Zoe Stark. And Mandy Rose is like blah 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 blah, and then Saray shows up, and my cable feed cut out, and when I got back, I didn't see it. So did she say anything, or because look, she was just standing there? And
Saray, she said, "I wasn't around for the battle royal. I was in the UK, and if I was here, I would have kicked your ass." And I got very excited about the idea of Saray possibly dethroning Mandy. I think hear me out. I think from a PR perspective, it might be a very good idea to have an Asian woman be treated with respect on television and dethrone the sexy gimmick. And if you want to make it feel like NXT of old, I certainly can remember an ass-kicking, hard-hitting woman who held that title and never actually lost it. And I can also think of them wanting to, though I think she would go to the main roster, entice Io Shirai back and showing that you are taking both representation and the women's division seriously again might not be the worst call. But I was just excited to see Saray on my screen. I don't think that's who will do it, but I also feel like Nikita Lyons got a demotion the same way that Austin Theory did based on her new feud, which also made me very excited.
We'll talk more about that in a second. So remember how we were talking about who Cora, Jade, and Azeez are gonna face, and we're gonna Apollo, Cruz, and Roxanne. Jake Salazar said it's gonna be Roxy and Vern Wagner.
Locked, banned, tarped. Get out of here.
And Batted to One Jam Beard says Luis said he wants a triple threat match of Azeez versus Vern Wagner versus Bron for the title. And then Luis says, I did not say that shit whatsoever. Stop this blasphemy.
I trust Luis.
Which brings us to this next Solo Sikoa wants a match. Falls Count Anywhere with Wagner next week. And this little stipulation was a staple of the Triple H Black and Gold NXT. The Falls Count Anywhere to settle a feud was a thing they trotted out all the time, and it was always great. Welcome to the first ever not great Falls Count Anywhere match, because Von Wagner's going to be in it.
But Falls Count Anywhere can cover up a lot of weaknesses, too.
Yes, sure can. It sure can. But there have been some great ones. Particularly the women's division. Asuka versus Nikki Cross was legendary.
Art.
Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, Raquel Gonzalez at the time. That was a great one. Mostly because Dakota Kai got involved and got shoved in a locker. that was fun.
That was real fun.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. This will obviously not be a great match because Vern Wagner is not good at wrestling. But I do think Von Wagner goes over because I think Solo Sikoa is going to the main roster, which you can read more about on FightfulSelect.com a couple weeks ago, which in wrestling years right now feels like 17 years ago, but you can go find that report somewhere. But I also think, while this will not be the Falls Count Anywhere of Black and Gold, I think it's a smart move for Von Wagner because you can just, the one thing he can do is pick people up and put them down places. So Falls Count Anywhere makes sense if you're trying to hide the many weaknesses that Von Wagner has in the ring. Also, Solo Sikoa is just very cool.
Yeah, he really is. Then later we see a backstage promo with Von Wagner and Mr. Stone, and Mr. Stone's like, "No, we beat you down. He's the champion of the streets now. Von Wagner is, and so that's it for you. You're done." And Von Wagner's like, "What are you talking about? We're gonna beat him up again." And which makes me believe that Solo Sikoa might win, because Von Wagner almost had a way out because his manager was going to not accept the challenge, and he's like, "No, I want to beat him up again," which is something you might do if you were whatever. The funny thing about all this is, like, now Von, now you already ran off Sophia, and he's like, shut up about her. If she wants to go off and be a model, forget her. I don't give a shit. It was just so funny because they had to bleep shit, and it was just so awkward the way he did it. And then Mr. Stone's like, oh, I'm so. I love that they had to reference this because, yes, if you didn't watch SmackDown, but somehow you watch our show every week, Sophia Cromwell, aka Leggy Blonde, aka the Pointing Lady, is now on SmackDown as Maxine Dupree.
Not aka the Leggy Blonde Onion. That is reserved for other people.
Yes, you of course are the Leggy Blonde Onion because you have many layers.
Thank you.
The layers that Sophia Cromwell, now Maxine Dupree, does not possess.
Well, so Von Wagner had one of my favorite trajectories to the main roster and back ever, because he had one appearance where he stood there and nobody acknowledged him except Sami Zayn, sort of. And then he came back down. And Sophia Cromwell has had a more impressive one in that I have no idea what she did for 8 weeks or so on television, at least. And then she got called up to the main roster, and they never explained who she was, what she did. No explanation, but they, God bless them, tried to explain her disappearance. But the best part of this promo you completely skipped over, which is upsetting to me, which is that Von Wagner once beat up his high school football coach for taking him out of a game, Alex. How could you skip that past? I mean, just the value of Robert Stone just increasing week over week here.
Uh-huh.
He assaulted his high school coach 15 years ago, probably.
Yep.
That makes him a threat right now in professional wrestling.
Jade Pringle says, if peeing your pants is cool, then I'm Miles Davis. That's a Simpsons reference, but he also says,
it's
Billy Madison
reference.
Oh, that's true. That's right. It is. Yeah, that's right. So Billy Madison is on after the 2.0
thing. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry. I thought that was a Simpsons reference because we were doing Simpsons references. But he says Billy Madison is on. Then he's doing it. Billy Madison's off to the 2.0. And then he says Billy Madison is greater than sign Vern Weirgner.
I would rather see the character of Billy Madison fight literally anybody than I would Von Wagner.
We got our Zoe Stark versus Gigi Dolin match.
We did?
Mm-hmm. And Zoe Stark won with her awesome, go the hell to sleep and never wake up. Because it is crazy the way she does that. Good for her for winning. And then immediately afterwards, we got Cora Jade attacking Zoe Stark with a kendo stick. And then the return of Roxanne Perez, who runs off Cora Jade and checks on Zoe Stark. So this leads us into the discussion of highlights and lowlights and how they are also the same thing in the same exact segment. But I'll let you talk about this match if you have anything to say about it first.
No, just that GTS is right there with Kenta's. Full CM Punk mark here, completely admitting that he has the weakest of the three names I mentioned in the GTS family. God bless him. It hits like 45% of the time. But yes, I have no interest in heel Cora Jade. I just don't. I haven't. And I don't think it fits who she is. And also the booking has been real dumb to get there. So it's like a double whammy of a situation there. At this point, I thought, oh, is Zoe Stark's going to be your new tag team champion with Roxanne Perez? At this point in the episode, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought too. We get a backstage segment with Roxanne Perez talking about if Cora wants to throw away our friendship, that's fine. That's fine. She can throw away our friendship. But how dare you throw away an NXT championship? It's like, you can call it a belt now. He's gone. You can call it a belt now. You can call
the bad
it a belt
man
now,
is
sweetheart.
gone.
Yes, the bad man is gone. Our favorite stepdaddy Hunter is here. He's going to make everything all right. You can call it a belt. But I was disgusted when she threw it away. How this is the best thing ever. She still got hers. And then Madusa. Everyone probably knows her more as Madusa, but they of course have to use the WWE name. Alundra Blaze comes in pushing a cart, and I didn't know who it was at first. I thought it was Stephanie McMahon because I saw the long, straight brown hair, and I was like, maybe they would have Stephanie do that because it's a women's title and Stephanie like invented women's wrestling. But no, it turns out it was Alundra Blaze, and she's like, years ago, I threw away a title myself, and it took me years to realize that I was wrong or something. I was like, I mean, you kind of weren't though, because they really fucked you over hard, and they fucked over the whole women's thing hard. Like
it's just one of the most iconic moments in women's wrestling history. Like it's a special moment.
Wrestling history shows up on the other show with the other company's title and tosses it in the garbage, like male, female. That was a move at the time. So the idea they have to have her come out and go, I was wrong. I've learned my lesson. I like, it was like, but so last time it took them a very long time before they figured out what to do with the women's title. Now that's not going to take very long because we're going to have a four corners fatal four-way. Was it elimination style or just like a fatal four-way? Like,
I think fatal four-way.
Next week. And the winner will become the new NXT Women's Champion. And I was like, "Are you gonna team with Roxanne Perez? Was that what we're gonna do? We're gonna get that? Because surely Roxanne Perez is going to be allowed to find a partner and participate in this, isn't she? Why wouldn't she be able to like say, hey, Zoe Stark, would you like another shot at that title? Like." I thought right there is a very obvious thing, or Indy Hartwell, who's a former champion as well. Like, there's a lot of people in the locker room who I think would love to have a shot with Roxanne Perez at getting the titles back. But no. And I was like, oh, well, this opens things up. Like maybe they'll bring a tag team from the main roster. Ha 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 ha. Because there aren't any. But like Dewdrop and Nikki ASH could show up. It was like when she shows up in NXT, she's back to being Nikki Cross again, and that's how we get rid of the stupid almost a superhero gimmick. I mean, the world was our oyster for about 2.5 minutes because then they showed a little graphic of who was going to be in this fatal four-way, and it consists of the team that was the champions for literally months and never defended it, Toxic Attraction, who just lost the belts. Caden and Katana, the former Casey and Caden, who've had countless shots at the titles and never won them. And they are currently in a feud with another team in this thing, Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley, who have never teamed together. And then there's Valentina Feroz and Yusa Leon, who have a lot of potential, but have never, count them, never won a match. So it's awesome that you decided to find a way to deal with this thing with the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. You bring out Alundra Blaze, you play it into storyline, you come out and we're saying, we are going to resolve this immediately. That's all great. But basically what you did by putting these 4 teams in this match is you could have just said, thank you, Roxanne. We're going to go ahead and turn around and hand these to Toxic Attraction, who are going to defend them again twice in 8 months, which is shitty all the way around. So cool for you for like dealing with it, but boo to you for dealing with it in the way that just puts the titles back on Toxic Attraction.
So what I liked was that I like the immediacy with which was addressed. I like that it's being addressed in a logical way. I also just want to correct what I had said, because people in the chat said that it is elimination style, which they said later in the parking lot segment while I was rebooting my router trying to make sure my webcam wasn't terrible. So I liked the immediacy of it. I don't love Roxanne surrendering. I wish, because she and Wendy Choo were friends, that she and Wendy Choo were going to, that would have been so much fun. The thing that I think might be good about that is I think Hunter might have said, nah, you're the new women's champion. Like, we're going to build you back up to dethrone Mandy.
That might be true. Yeah.
And the thing that gives me hope about that is there's not really anything else for Toxic Attraction to do in NXT. So if they dethrone Mandy, maybe you do have Kaden and Katana win so that you can bring them up to the main roster. You need some fresh blood up there in the women's division, especially if they're going to do a women's tag team division on the main roster. You kind of have to call them up because there just aren't tag teams. So that's the only sliver of hope I have, that Toxic Attraction won't take them back. But the closing segment of this show obviously made me think that they will be. I really liked that Alundra Blaze came out. I don't love that she retconned her moment, but I also feel like they kind of had to say that because Cora's a heel, right? So while Alundra Blaze did it in this really cool moment, you have to be like, yeah, I have to reinforce that Cora's the bad guy here. I think it would have been way more interesting if they also just made Roxanne and Cora work together for one more match. Like, why not? They do this crap all the time anyway. Throw them in there. But I feel like Wendy Choo would have been such a fun pull with Roxanne, because that's who, when Roxanne came in, they had this whole history together. So I'm glad they at least, it feels like at least someone gave a shit, which is more than I can say for a lot of the stuff that we usually see on NXT. Yeah. So while I don't love everything about it, I love that they're addressing it in a logical way, and that it feels like maybe somebody has a plan here, which is refreshing.
Yeah. Somebody mentions, Luis does as well, that Madusa pulled a Rick Rude.
Yes, she was at NWA, right?
She was at NWA Power tonight. Batted to one. Jam Beard also saying Alundra Blaze pulled a Rick Rude. She was an NXT NWA. It's true. And Meet Normus, who is a 15-month member of the Fightful main roster. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Says WWE needs one set of women's tag belts. We can say belts now that are defended on all shows, which is what it was supposed to be when it started. And it was going to be awesome, because that was back when the NXT women's roster was amazing and had great women, and they were all like super primed to have great tag matches, and we never got to see that. And then he asks, will we ever see the tournament for the main roster? I genuinely don't know if it'll be a tournament, but they got to find some way of dealing with this. They in canon on television, they shat upon Sasha Banks and Naomi. They can't just show up and have the belts. They can't just do that. I think it is a decent chance, a very decent chance that Naomi is back with the company now that Hunter is in charge, and a better than 50% chance, though not as good as Naomi, that Sasha Banks might consider re-signing. But if you do that, now you got to do a whole story about how, because I think even Hunter would say that was the wrong thing to do. Like, I agree with you in a lot of ways, but you can't do what you did. And so now you got to figure out a way to book around it. But I think that there are certainly enough women on the main roster who are really good and could be booked way better. I pitched last week a faction of Sonya Deville and Raquel Rodriguez and Shayna Baszler on SmackDown. That could be an awesome triumvirate, and you could freebird the titles between them. Or alternatively, on Raw, you already have Doudrop working with Nikki ASH. Well, you drop the ASH, make her back to Nikki Cross, then you call up Kaylee Ray. Hopefully you don't have to call her Alba Fire, but you have the three of them on Raw is an amazing, easy way to book that thing. And those are they're right there. They have all these groups of women that you could pair together in different ways and create awesome tag
division. The new Vicious Viking Gals.
The new Vicious Valkyries, because the Valkyries are, of course, women warriors. There you go. The new Vicious Valkyries.
I do think, actually, if they put the titles back on Toxic Attraction, that might be the way to have it float between brands. That could actually be a smart use of it. If you're Sasha Banks, I think you don't bother even thinking about coming back until you're a Royal Rumble surprise and you have one of the biggest returns in Royal Rumble history, and by far the biggest entrance of any woman in Royal Rumble history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Dakota Kai comes back for sure, and you could reunite her and Shotzi if she didn't already sign with AEW, because I think she had meetings there.
Dakota Kai is great, and I'd love to see her come back. Her and Tegan Nox would be great if you could figure out a way to bury the hatchet in storyline. Sure, Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox would be amazing. So yeah, you could easily do that. We got an Axiom little thing trying to make the. Did you see the Chikara deal?
Yes, I did.
That was egregious. What was the name of that character?
Oh my gosh!
So I can find the picture and post it, because I want everyone to see this thing. It is. They had somebody copy it. That was crazy.
It was like Razor Wing, RAZER.
Yeah, Razor Wing. Okay,
yeah.
I'll look that up while we're talking about this next thing. There was a Wendy Choo nightmare segment where she was having bad dreams and then good dreams, and then she just like, all right, Tiffany Stratton, this isn't over, and when you see me next, you're not gonna like what you see. And I was like, we're getting Mei Ying back. I will pop so hard if she just shows up as the 1,000-year-old dragon lady again, because we know for a fact Hunter loved that shit. He was going to build the whole women's division around that shit. And I mean, listen, not all of his ideas are S tier. This was crazy, but I love the idea that they're going to drop the whole pajama girl and bring her right back to being the dragon lady,
or something else. I think she's crushing it in this gimmick.
Oh, sure.
But it has such a ceiling, and she's so good in the ring. She should be a women's champion on the main roster, good in the ring. Yeah. So whether they go back to Dragon Lady or they just have her, this sounds crazy, I know. Just like be a woman who can go around and kick people's asses. Yep. I think that's awesome because she deserves a gimmick that has the same high ceiling that she is capable of in the ring. And unfortunately, because there's such a two-dimensional perception of comedy in a lot of ways in WWE, like that can't hold the title.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the way that it works. But I thought this segment was well done, and I do like.
She's so great.
She's great. I do like Wendy Choo a lot, and we'll see where all this goes eventually. We got this thing with JD McDonagh. He drives up and he says to the valet, he says, no, don't park in my parking space. I'm part of the paying audience tonight. And I was like, oh, so he's going to sit there and like heckle a Bron Breakker promo? He walks in through a door that is marked clearly employees only. And if you're part of the paying crowd, wouldn't you walk through the front door? I don't know. But then he sat in the third row or something, and he's sitting there, and we come back from commercial, he's sitting there, and he's got a microphone in his hand. I was like, you're not a member of the crowd if you're sitting there with a microphone that's been turned on. They don't give those to the members of the crowd. And then he proceeds to do the longest, saddest, like crowd work, where he's just like, hey there, you enjoying that popcorn? Do you know how many people in America die of eating popcorn? It's a lot. Hey, you over there, I've got things to say to you. Oh, hey, timekeeper. Do you know I could smash your hand with that hammer? Be careful. Alicia Taylor, you have a lovely voice. Wade Barrett, you got all these calcium deposits in your hand and your wrist, and that makes it easy to break your wrist or something. Hey, Vic Joseph, you're tall and thin. You've probably got spindly, easily breakable bones. Watch as I break your collarbone in front of everybody. And I guess they're trying to make it like he's like a master of torture.
I think it's supposed to lean into like joint manipulation stuff. But
yeah, I guess.
Like this to me was like, okay, you have a hand fetish, and you're kind of the character Debbie Downer from SNL, and you're also everyone's know-it-all uncle who just lectures you on dumb stuff that nobody cared about. Why would someone off the top of their head know how many people die from eating popcorn in the United States every year? And if that person exists, can I punch them in the face? Because that guy's annoying. This was very, very, very weird.
It was very, very, very weird. It was. Yeah.
Last week, the mannequin, I was like, this is weird. And then this week, they were like, hold my beer.
It really was. It really was that. I don't even know.
Is he Dexter? Like, what is happening?
Yes, that's what he is. Yeah, he's the serial killer who hunts serial killers, which is actually what I wanted as the gimmick for Killer Cross when he showed up, because that would have been great. Yeah. The first guy he targeted were heels, and I was like, yeah, give me this dude who's the baddest guy here, and to prove that, it's like he walks up to the biggest guy in the prison yard and picks a fight with him. So like, or like, oh no, you only think you're bad. I'm the bad guy here. Like that would have been great, as opposed to, I might be a bouncer at a biker club, but have you met my sorceress wife? Like, it doesn't, none of that ever made sense.
I saw him on the Indies, and that would have been so great for the guy that I saw on the Indies. Like the guy who goes in and, like you said, picks the fight with the biggest guy in the prison yard. That would have been a perfect gimmick for him. Damn.
Yeah, too bad. So we didn't get that.
We didn't even get close to that. We got BDSM Power Ranger, man. That guy uses Blue Chew to break some backs, man or woman.
He got his back broken by the hollowed out husk of Jeff Hardy in about a minute. So we get Bron Breakker gets called out by JD McDonagh, and he comes out and they have a face off. And it was here, but I was like, I've heard a lot of people go like, hey, everyone's talking about Bron Breakker, how he's a can't miss guy. He's not that tall. And like that mattered a lot to Vince. I don't know how much it matters to Hunter, but it mattered a lot to Vince. And I was like,
Johnny Gargano was his guy.
I know. I'm saying like it doesn't seem like it matters that much to Hunter, but like it mattered to Vince. And I was like, hey, is he really not that tall? And standing across right next to JD McDonagh, and being shorter than him by an inch was like, oh, so he really isn't that tall. I thought he was like 6'2". He ain't 6'2". He's like 5'11" and 3/4. And it's
in
fine,
wrestling
honestly.
height. In wrestling height, he's 5'11". Like I think he's probably like a shoot 5'10". But he's built like a brick house, so you don't notice it.
Doesn't matter. I love the idea of this little powerhouse like running through people because he's just got all kinds of velocity. Like, yeah.
But to your point, once you get on the main roster and you're not that much bigger than Shorty G or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that is a thing. That is a thing.
Yeah. We get we got them facing off, and then JD McDonagh tries a headbutt, knocks over Breakker, and tries to pull him up into his little backdrop suplex, and Bron Breakker just gets up and hits him with a shoulder block in the teeth, and then JD McDonagh going, I love my taste of my own blood. It was a weird little segment, but they're gonna have a face off next week, a real one where they're gonna sign the contract, and contract signings are so great.
Again, if a horse lawyer's not there, what's the point?
Yeah.
But this program's not working for me. I don't buy that Bron Breakker is like, I hate to say this, it would make more sense for them. It would make more sense for them. I'm not saying I want to see it. There's a very important difference there. It would make more sense for them to have Grayson Waller in the spot. Yeah. Like, he just got here and all he's doing is talking about like people's hands and choking on popcorn. This program isn't working for me, and that's really unfortunate because the Joe Gacy stuff didn't really work for me. The Ziggler stuff worked for me. Most of the stuff he did before that worked for me, but
nothing has worked for me with him since Ciampa. Nothing.
Ciampa's was like the best.
Because I hated the Ziggler stuff. Hated it. So like I didn't I mean, like, listen, anything's better than Joe Gacy, but I hated the Ziggler stuff. I was on record at the time that it was a terrible idea, and honestly, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense for him to lose the title, then lose it in trying to get it back, then win it back the next night on Raw. Like, all of it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
No, the booking of that was really dumb. But I felt like the in-ring was really good. I felt like,
sure,
despite Ziggler not being like a real test of success, I felt like they did a pretty good job making him feel important. But I'm also a Ziggler mark, so it's very possible my judgment could have been clouded. But I also think I look at it with rose-colored glasses because the Joe Gacy stuff came in right after that.
Yeah. JW Pringle says that JD McDonagh is Irish Wilford Brimley. I don't know what that is in reference to, but yeah, sure.
I had notes about this and I can't find them. It was just so weird.
Yeah.
Like he's hanging out in the crowd talking about choking on popcorn.
Yeah.
With a guy in the audience who just had him. I don't know. I don't know.
And
I don't understand why Bron Breakker wants to fight that guy.
Because he snuck up behind Bron Breakker and backdropped him through a table after Bron Breakker beat Cameron Grimes, I guess.
Okay, but you get assaulted worse just walking through the parking lot in NXT.
I know. We got Giovanni Vinci versus Andre Chase, a match that was set up last week. But prior to that, we find out that Thea Hale is basically Butch in female form. Oh, let me at him! Oh, let me at him! You know what she reminds me of? Sherry O'Terry from Saturday Night Live in the 90s. Like, where she's just a ball of energy that cannot be contained in any way. This is not a compliment if you are trying to be a professional wrestler. It didn't actually make a whole lot of sense. But Nathan Frazier is here, and he's very excited, and Bob's your uncle, about being able to swing the flag for Chase U and his big match versus Giovanni Vinci. I have never been able to take Andre Chase seriously for 1 second.
They've never given you a reason to for 1 second. He's only really jobbed.
He wrestles in a sweater and a dress shirt and jeans and little Converse All-Stars, and he loses every match. And then I don't know when. I still can't pinpoint when it went from this man is horribly abusive and an asshole and worthy of our derision and scorn to a fan favorite babyface. I do not know when that transition happened, but it must have happened off screen because I've watched every single one of these episodes. So he's a huge fan favorite now, and you're trying to build Giovanni Vinci into something. How do I know that? Well, you had him beat Apollo Crews in that match. You had him. You said we're going to give you that pinfall. So we're building him into something. He's a new fun toy for them to work with, and now you have him in there with Andre Chase, and the match should have lasted 2 minutes. 2 minutes, if that. And instead, you got Andre Chase working him over through the entire. I don't get what Andre Chase is supposed to be. Like, what are you doing with this character? If he's not a comedy jobber, I don't know what he's supposed to be.
That's because they don't know what he's supposed to be. Like, I feel like he turned face with the Bodhi stuff, kind of. And then they stopped with the vignettes of him being like an angry professor. Yeah. And they gave us the student section. It's just so all over the place. And I don't understand. I guess I just don't understand what a program with Giovanni Vinci at this point. Like, why you have someone that you've repackaged as a big star. Why isn't he facing Bron Breakker? Like, of the new guys that came in, Giovanni Vinci feels more important than JD. Right. I wink with my sunglasses on McDonagh. Like, I don't know. It's there's stuff that I'm like, I don't get it with Grayson Waller, but I understand what he's supposed to be and what they're trying to do with him. I sincerely have no clue what they're trying to do with Andre Chase.
Yeah. And this is true. NCB 41, this is match of the night. They got a very vociferous "This is awesome" chant from people wearing Andre Chase shirts. So I don't know if they were like cued to say it. Again, I expected this match to be over before it started.
Sure.
I expected to look up a minute into the match and see him hitting his twisting last ride. So I didn't pay attention to the match until it was so far into the match that I started asking myself, why is this match happening? The thing of it is you can do holy shit, this turned into a good.
Sorry, I was trying to cue off the Starcast.
I know. I was so anyway,
see what happens when you don't subscribe to Fightful Select. This is what happens. It goes in Bizarro World.
You can do a guy who's been a jobber, gives a run for his money to a top guy story, but you kind of have to make it a story as opposed to we decided out of nowhere to have Andre Chase wrestle good. Like I know Harlem Bravado, the indie wrestler before he came to NXT, is a good wrestler. That's not the point. The point is you've given him a character that is a complete and utter throwaway comedy jobber. And you've got to figure out a way to balance those things. Otherwise, it kind of feels weird.
They haven't known who Andre Chase has been since his first match. And they definitely haven't realized it since his last match.
Right.
And speaking of last matches, did you know Ric Flair is having his at Starcast? Sean's here to tell you all about it.
Starcast 5 looks to be the biggest Starcast yet, July 29th to 31st in Nashville, Tennessee at the Nashville Fairgrounds. I'll be there. There are great panel shows like Renee Paquette reuniting the Talking Smack team with Bryan Danielson. You've got The Last Ride of the Four Horsemen. Bret Hart talking about that historic British Bulldog match 30 years after Wembley Stadium. You got Saraya turning the page, but how about that event Sunday night? Ric Flair's last match, but check out the card underneath it. Ren Narita and Clark Connors, Rey Fenix, Bandito, Taurus, and Laredo Kid in a four-way match that's going to blow you away. You've got Killer Kross and Harry Smith in a rematch of their great Bloodsport match. Josh Alexander defends the Impact title against Jacob Fatu. You've got Rachel Ellering, Deonna Purrazzo, and Jordan Grace in a three-way knockouts match. Motor City Machine Guns against the Wolves. Briscoes versus Von Erichs. Man, this card is absolutely stacked with MLW, AAA, Impact, New Japan, AEW talent. And that's before you even get to Ric Flair's last match, headlining his historic career and capping it off. If you're going to be in Nashville, head over to Starcast.com for more information on Starcast tickets, meet and greets, and last match tickets. But if you're not there, doesn't mean that you got to miss it. RicFlairsLastMatch.com allows you to pre-order the event and watch the incredible docuseries, Ric Flair, The Last Match, with new episodes every Monday at 6:05. That's Starcast.com and RicFlairsLastMatch.com.
I'm high and all, but has it always said Sean? No, it hasn't always.
No.
So yeah, anyway, Nathan Frazier, Giovanni Vinci wins and then stomps out Andre Chase, and Nathan Frazier comes to save him. So this isn't a feud so much with Andre Chase as it is one match. And then we're going to start a thing between Nathan Frazier and Giovanni Vinci, or as I've started to call him, Fakey and Eichner.
That's a good one. I like that one.
So yeah, Fakey and versus Nathan Frazier is going to hump. It's going to be a fantastic match.
Yeah, that's going to
roll. It might be at NXT Heatwave in 3 weeks.
If we're still in the middle of this heat wave in 3 weeks,
mm-hmm.
Man, it's too much heat.
Something broke today that it looks like WWE wants to run an NXT play on the Peacock on the same day as All Out.
This is what I would call so wrestling started in the carnival days, right? If you are into it, you know that. I think this comes from there, this phrase. This is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was that is in the roots of pro wrestling history. It's a bad idea.
Yes. And I think they want to kill us personally.
Yes.
Because I think we're going to be on the hook for reviewing those things simultaneously, which would be
no, we're not. No.
Yeah,
no,
I wanna.
No,
I
we're doing
really
NXT
wanna.
the next day. No.
I really wanna though.
No, I am not going till 5 a.m. my time for one pay-per-view that'll be great and one that'll be medium at best. No. AEW pay-per-views end at like 3 a.m. already. I'm not watching the sun come up for NXT 2.0. Sorry. Hard pass. I'm also curious if that stays the case. We'll see where the product is if they're comfortable going head to head.
Because we've already seen they're fine doing a matinee. Are they going to like do that one as a matinee and try and like I don't know. I honestly don't know. We got the Ulisa and talking to Valentina on FaceTime. I am in Brazil, but I will be back tomorrow. And good, we got to start training. And Sanga's there. He's like, "You will win," says Sanga. I like that he's he's got they're in a throuple. You can totally tell they're in a throuple. They're doing a whole poly thing. I think it's really cool. No kink shaming here on the SGS. So
no, of course, as long as everybody agrees to what's going on. Yep.
If it really is a fatal an elimination match, you can bet this is the team eliminated first.
That is correct.
Yeah, but it'll be a lot of fun to see Sanga out there cheering for them for the whole 3.5 minutes they're in the match. Because they also came out and said the first that's going to kick off the show next week, and it'll be no commercial interruptions for that match. So it's going to be a fatal 4-way elimination tag team title match. It's going to last 12.5 minutes. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch that match. Well, then we get the TikTok tag team very insulted that no one else should even be allowed to compete for these championships because we are the only real team. We're the only actual friends in here. And then Tatum shows up like, well, looks like we're going to get to settle it in the ring after all. And like, you're not even a real tag team, says Caden. And then they have a big fight. And it's a big pull-apart brawl because Triple H loves pull-apart brawls. He loves them.
Does.
He'll book them into the ground. You're going to see 2 of those a week for the next year.
Melees forever.
Hey, Hunter. Maybe you want to lay off on the pull-apart brawl. You're making it look like we don't employ enough security guards.
They don't. Look at the NXT parking lot.
They really don't. They really, really don't.
That's the HHF if I knew him.
Yeah. Hold on.
Linda has entered the chat.
Oh, hold on. So anyway, I says to the HHH, I says, you have to hire more security guards because you got people walking into work and they're getting beamed in the head outside in the parking lot. And then there's always these brawls. You should just make sure that in any room where the wrestlers may come in contact with one another, that there's like at least a minimum of a half dozen to 24 security guards at all time. Because then they could just nip it in the bud.
Wasn't your 6th husband a security guard?
Well, he owned a security firm from which he embezzled $122 million, and then he went to jail, and he died in prison. It was terrible.
I heard 14.6 million of those dollars was unaccounted for.
Yeah, it was unaccounted for. We really were not sure what payments he made, but I'm sure everything was above board.
Are you so sure?
I'm sure. My Herman would never.
Herman. Of course his name is Herman. That's so husband number 6.
Yeah. Right. And then we got during the pull apart brawl, Kayfabe Smayfabe says a Norman Smiley sighting. Triple H has already accomplished everything I could ask of him. So I love the Norman Smiley. J. David Pringle says, no kink shaming in the SGS unless kink shaming is your kink. We'll need a doctor's note for documentation in that case.
That is true. We will.
It's true. We get Indy Hartwell versus Ariana Grace. This was short, and Indy Hartwell won with a boot to the face, and I have nothing else to say about this match.
No, it went the way it should. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh, I also just wanted to say that Ivy Nyla looks like such a badass with her hair like that.
She really does.
Because we were reviewing looks earlier.
It's true. Luke's, yes. Luke's served. We got a Lash Legend and Kaylee Ray video package. This has already gone on longer than it needed to. Just put Kaylee Ray on the main roster, call her up to Raw, have her lead my faction of the Scottish warrior women who just like to murder everybody. They're not actually wearing kilts or anything. They're all Scottish and like to beat everybody up. But I'm gonna drop a note to Hunter because he really needs to just do this. It would
be so great. It's right there.
Yeah. It's right there. So this next segment is entitled by Luis, "The Accountant Stole Drew Gulak's Whole Fucking Flow."
1 second.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So Orion Ben says, "These things take time, I know, but man, they really expect us to forget week to week. Now Kate needs to teach Porn Accountant proper PowerPoint usage. The main event couldn't gloss over all of this."
It's true. Porn Accountant did wear a jacket, though, today. So she at least was appropriately dressed.
And she was also like, she was like, Nikita Lyons is, look at what she wears, or rather doesn't wear. I just love Porn Accountant being a prude. It's just fantastic.
Porn Accountant says, like, only I get to be scantily clad with another profession. And she felt very threatened by the fact that Nikita Lyons was scantily clad with like 6 professions. So, but no offense to Nikita Lyons. I guess a little bit of offense to Nikita Lyons. I am glad she was demoted. If you are fighting Porn Accountant, you have fallen down the ranks, my friend. And while she is good in the ring, I do feel like she has some work to do on the character front before she holds the title, as her entire character is I am a thirst trap.
Well, that, and also remember how her entire character was that she was also every character.
Right.
Because and the thing about this is this little PowerPoint, the Porn Accountant brings that up. Her mom was a groupie and her dad was a rock star, and she learned everything in a tour bus. And she's also, well, she doesn't bring this up too, but maybe they've kind of here's the thing. If you're a kickboxer or whatever, that's not the part to retcon out of existence. That's the part you should hold on to. You could retcon the whole needless thing about how you were conceived in a tour bus, going across the country playing dive bars. That's the one you don't ever bring up again, but they decided to bring it up now. So now it's a thing.
She was also like, Porn Accountant was certified in a lot of different things.
Yes, a lot of different things.
So good for her, just for getting after those certifications.
Yeah, a lot of services.
Maybe if you're going to be a pro wrestler, though, it doesn't really matter if you're certified.
Yeah, I would say that's true. The Battle to One Jam Beard says, not to crap on that idea, because I do like KLR with Nikki and Piper, but why give 3 Scottish women a Nordic gimmick of Vikings? I think that was more of a joke from Kate, and then
that was it.
Fed into it. Yes, I didn't. I do not think we should call them the new Vicious Valkyries. I think that's a very dumb thing to call them. I don't know what you'd call them, but
they could just hear me out. This is wild.
Mm-hmm.
They could just have their names.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to get rid of. You can't call her Dewdrop anymore because you never should have called her that, and you can't call her Nikki ASH because, God no. And Alba Fire. Can we? I don't know.
How about Kaylee Ray, Nikki Cross, and Piper Niven? How about that?
How about that? How about that? How about those things? Okay. We get our main event. which is Tony D, Stacks, and I don't even. The thing was, you got to give him. Now you got to give him like Tony D is being very lax on giving Joaquin and Cruz some awesome mob names.
It's true.
Like, I don't know what he's gonna call him, but we got to call him something. Well, I mean, like Del Toro is like of the Bull. We can call him the Bull. That's a good one. And I don't know what we call Joaquin Wild. We call him Rocky. Just kind of like Joaquin.
Yeah.
Rocky and the Bull. That's
I feel
good.
like they should be absurdly Italian though. Like absurdly, yeah.
They should wear a lot of gold chains.
This is holy cannoli, and this is you know what I mean? Like, just be cartoonish.
Agreed. I think it's very good. But anyway, so they're facing Diamond Mine in this 8-man tag. And I fully expected the end of this to be Santos showing up and like going up to his former charges, to his former boys, Rocky and the Bull, and them either immediately showing that it was all a ruse to let down the defenses of Tony, or them having actually chosen Tony over Santos, which fully makes Santos the babyface. And babyface Santos versus the entire Tony D'Angelo family, with Elektra being the one that defects back to him. But really, what can she do except for pass him some brass knuckles, which is going to be a thing you're going to have to do. I think that's a hell of a feud to go into Heatwave plus whatever the hell the play is going to be on Labor Day weekend. That would be some good stuff. But we didn't get Santos coming back, so it doesn't really matter. Instead, I
assume he's going to come back at Heatwave.
I guess we're probably going to have Tony D and Stacks versus the Creeds for the tag titles at Heatwave. That happens because Roderick Strong, trying to knee Tony D'Angelo in the face, ends up kneeing Julius Creed in the face, and then Tony D does his fisherman suplex, twisting fisherman suplex thing, which looks great, and gets the pin. So a rare time where I'm cool with one of the tag champs taking a pinfall loss, because it's about the fact that Roddy Strong can't get on the same page, even if you wanted to, with the Creeds. So that's coming apart. Yeah.
Definitely more of a justification than usual for how our champions normally get pinned on television. So I'll take it. I thought this match was really good, and I think Julius Creed showed out really hard for it.
Yeah,
like,
he's so good, man. That
so
when he
impressive.
leapt to the top rope, like just box jumped to the top rope.
He's very long. Like, his extremities are very long.
This is the thing. About Julius Creed that I've said. I think he's really special. Like, we'll see what he can do on the mic, like, as he gets better and better and more capable. But he's really, really great. I don't know how good Gable Stevenson's going to wind up being as a wrestler. I don't think there's that much cachet in this guy won a gold medal anymore. Like, I don't think people really give a shit. It's not 1996 anymore. So I think you actually get the best professional wrestler of all of the amateur wrestlers that you have and push that guy. And I think that guy is Julius Creed, not whatever Gable Stevenson is going to be, because I can't imagine Gable Stevenson is going to be as good as what Julius Creed is right now.
Julius is great. He and are a great. They bring such different things to the table that it's really a fun tag team. I think Julius is probably the most well-rounded, whereas Brutus is like still, I think, my favorite because that's just the kind of wrestler that like I like. But I this was really, really fun, and I think the more we get to see Julius, like we're getting to see more of what he can do, just like with this title reign, which makes the title reign feel productive, which is nice. And even the little segment that they had going into this felt a little bit more organic than we've seen. Like it wasn't so forced. They just were like hyping themselves up, and I thought it was good.
Yeah. And then, of course, as you mentioned, in the parking lot afterwards, Toxic Attraction saying to Alundra Blaze, just hand us the belts because we're going to get them next week anyway. And I was like, yes, that is actually the problem here. So
duly noted.
Yeah. Jake Salazar said we should call him Toro Oscuro and Rocco. I think Rocco could work, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure. Jake Salazar also says, "Where's Double Vest in the Beach?" Not mentioned on the show. I guess they went back to the UK to film all of their vignettes in their remake of King Ralph, where the ghost of Peter O'Toole offers them a giant a smorgasbord of British food and waves toward a bunch of things. It's like, here we have the bangers and mash of the spotted dick. And then they go like, spotted dick? Because it looks like a sausage. And no, those are the bangers. And spotted dick. Great movie, King Ralph. So then we get a couple of more things. Jamencito Gomez didn't watch last week. What happened to the barcode? The barcode was in reference to Zoe Stark's return. Although it might have been nice if during this promo she had mentioned that. Like it was a weird thing to like hey, there was this weird QR code that got broadcasted for 3 straight weeks that was about me, but for no real reason. Like, it's not like she's a hacker or something. It's just, No,
I think they were just trying out an interactive thing, and it wasn't great, but there could have been some reference of like, for weeks I've been dropping hints and now I'm back in full force, blah, blah, blah.
There could have been that. Jake Salazar says Vern Wagner's half-sister, Lash Lagner.
Her development is lagging, so we gotta.
NCB says wrestling has only one leggy blonde. Adrenaline in my soul. That's good, right?
Thank you. I'm assuming it's me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not Maxine Dupree. Hold on, I'm going to now upload the. Okay, so here's here we go. So here's a picture of Razor Wing from Chikara. That's Razor Wing. Okay, now I'm going to show you also a picture of Axiom. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Hey, Mom, can we get Razor Wing? No, we have Razor Wing at home. It's not the same though, Mom. Yeah, it is though. It kind of is. Like, it's a total knockoff of the other one, but it's fine. It's just fine. There's no way that's not intentional. Like, there's oh boy, yikes. Anyway,
my goodness, is it exactly the same?
That's a replica. That's a replica, is what that is. Meet Normus
that's
says
not even home and away gear. Like, that is the same.
No. Meet Normus says, on consecutive pitches, my Nats got thrown out at home plate and then gave up a game-tying home run. So Screen 2 is now on Shark Week. What do Linda and Sheila think about the Shark Week?
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I saw that Kate and that Alex review the Sharknado on the Know Ya News. Yes. And I don't know how I feel about sharks in general, and I really don't like them falling out of the sky.
No, that is a bridge too far.
It is a bridge too far.
If you are gonna stay in your lane, i.e., the ocean, that is fine, because I do not go in the water unless I am taking a shower of some kind. I don't go in the pool. Nothing. I stay away from the water. I don't like the whole water, so I'm not going to go in the ocean. That is your domain as sharks. Once you start falling out of the sky, then we're going to have problems.
You know what? I also don't like that it's a week long. It's like when people celebrate their birthday for an entire week.
Get it over with.
Just a day, one day.
Also, can you imagine the Sharks going, hey, everybody, it's my week next week. Just wanted to let you know.
All the dolphins
in case you wanted to get me anything, it's all my week next week anyway. We're going to be hanging out. I don't know. No big deal. If you want to do something for me, you don't have to, but maybe we'll go and do something. I'm not sure. Anyway, want to let you know it's my week.
If you don't, I'll kill you. Typical Sharks.
Typical Sharks. Jake Neal says, all I want is for Thea Hale to embrace her inner Yinzer while in England and ask for fries on her sandwich while the Stiller game is on and a cold icy.
Yeah. I'm here for that.
That would be good. Meet. No, wait. Meet. Oh, I already read that one. Okay. Alpha Bill. Good old Alpha Bill says, not wrestling related. Just wanted to note things that make me happy. Alex, Kate, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the entire SGS community. That is all. Thank you, Alpha Bill.
Thanks, Alpha Bill.
So Tom LaValle is going to fantasy book him a Johnny Gargano return. Gargano comes back as Theory is about to waste his briefcase cash in. Says, no, son, that's not how you do it. He takes the briefcase, hits his finisher, 1, 2, 3. He steals the briefcase from his son, Austin Theory.
I like the idea of I was Hunter's chosen one and you were Vince's chosen one, and a feud built around that. That would be fun.
Sure. You were never my real father.
You're a bad father.
Yeah. You're a bad father. Oh my God, the jukebox is packed full of stuff today. Tom LaValle saying, "Acknowledge cease." There you go.
This is how you do it. This is how you acknowledge the Cease twins.
Yeah. James Bowers says, was NXT any better today without the old Scrooges being directly in charge / soon leaving?
Incrementally, I would say.
Yeah, everything's gonna take time. Orion Ben says, get Kate a Wendy Choo onesie with Eddie Kingston on it.
You could have one where like the hood comes down and it's a bloody face, and then attached to the arm is gasoline.
Yep, very good.
That'd be fun.
Mark Quill says, Kate Elizabeth wins. Katality.
I'm assuming that was about my wonderful segue about backbreaking earlier.
Of course, yeah. Mark Quill says, if Fightful Select reaches 8,000 subs, that means Kate and Alex now officially own Fightful. Sorry, SRS, I don't make the rules. Thanks for being awesome, Calix.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Sean's removed from creative the second we take over.
Sean has like a 15% ownership stake in Fightful. I'd be fine with like a 2 or 3% ownership stake. I'm not greedy.
I'll take that, but I'm just saying, as soon as a new regime comes in there,
yeah,
Sean's out of creative. He's demoted.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, good Lord. Jitterboo Pringle says, in other NYC news, I'm going tomorrow for the first time. My sister and niece are coming to see several Broadway shows. Tips for a rube in the city?
Damn. Is it my okay? No, my headphones were not plugged in appropriately.
Listen, yeah, your audio is weird. Hi, sir.
Listen, I don't care if you all go over 2 hours anymore. I'm not pulling the audio from this thing. I'm just saying, There are 520 people watching this right now.
Yes.
If only, let's see, how many of you? 26 of you subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Kate has vowed to shit her pants on the air.
That.
She said
I never said that.
She would shit her pants on the air. And I wrote off, I approved this.
You made it up.
I said, Kate, you know what? If that's how you want to celebrate, who am I? Who am I to say no? You're a grown woman with
typical dirt sheets running fake stories.
And listen.
You got worked, bro.
Hear me out.
You got worked.
Things are changing around here. Vince is gone. You might get your last name back. You never know.
It's true.
Who knows?
That is a made-up rumor. You need to check your sources. I never said I was going to shit my pants on air. There is definitive proof, however, of you saying that you would shave your head at 20,000 subscribers.
Why is everybody screaming about my microphone? What's up with my microphone?
Because it's weird.
It's very loud.
You sound
very
like
fuzzy.
In a cave, and you look like you're in a cave because you're lighting.
Why didn't any of you tell me that? Is it better now?
I was a little distracted by you saying that I would shit my pants on air. I think maybe.
It's gonna shit his pants.
Jonathan.
Somebody asked me to fix my audio. How about this? How about you go steal your mother's credit card and subscribe to FightfulSelect.com?
Jake's already subscribed, and his mom is subscribed.
What about your grandma?
Well, you didn't say grandma's credit card. Jake, steal your grandma's credit card, and Sean will pee his pants on air.
If she's dead like mine, dig her up. Pawn whatever jewelry she was wearing. Come on. Sell a kidney. You got a kid? Knock some teeth out. Leave them for the tooth fairy. Use that $5. Bam. Fightful Select.
This is the man who's in charge.
And these are good ideas, and you all know them. You know that they are. They're fantastic ideas. Somebody said I love the Magic Spoon shirt. It is actually a really comfortable shirt. I'm not even gonna pretend it's not.
Fucking chill.
It is. I didn't even mean to come on here wearing that, but here we are.
Sure.
Allie Cease is here. She's been bugging me to show her. She's been bugging me to show her my wrestling cards for days, and I haven't had the time. But I'm gonna.
Oh, why? Have things been busy?
Bill says, get out of here. BlueChew.com. Use the code FIGHTFUL. Listen, I'm just saying 26 subscriptions would make me
Look, I had a segue
happy.
that if that segue didn't get people to subscribe before, I don't know what it's going to.
Kate is the new king of segues on Fightful with her Blue Chew spine fatality. Listen.
I might have said if you want to break some people's backs and you need some help, you can go to Blue Chew.
I don't appreciate you all being so immature. By the way, get your invoices in.
Yes, you.
Because I know
you
Kate
came on
will
here
forget.
and said I'm going to shit my pants. You don't get to lecture me at being immature in the same breath. Thank you, Allie. I am our leggy blonde onion. Our boss, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Anyway, Scotty Bobox sends in a Humper chat saying, as we continue to digest the end of the Vince era in the wake of the amended SEC filings, I'm left thinking how much worse the budget cuts of the last few years look. He can't pay talent, but no problem burning cash because he can't keep it in his pants. Yes, that is the general thrust of the whole thing that we're doing right now. Yep.
Did I actually verbatim say that?
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with me?
It wasn't someone's. If you want to bust a lady's spine, I think is what it was. Bust a lady's spine. That's what it is. Yep. Jake Salazar says, of course, Sean does the Blue Chew ads because the only people like him need it. And, BlueChew.com, code Fightful. The Batter to One Jam Beard says, Papa H taking over creative on main roster gives me the slightest bit of sliver of maybe hope the NXT call-ups will get treated better.
Look, I'm glad that you guys have that much faith in my dad, Papa H, but I think, not my...
A different Papa H.
Got it.
The HHH.
The HHH.
Yes, I'm truly hopeful that the HHH will help people like the Ciampa get as far away from the Miz as possible.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of people that are about to.
The Ricochet.
Oh my God, the Ricochets.
The Rico Chet is such a wonderful athlete. I have been a fan of Mr. Chet for a very long time. Nerd Guru says it's a long way off, but I would pray to the wrestling gods to hear Shock the System again. Those petty asshats took it off Spotify, and I'm sad because that song humped. With being more hopeful that Johnny comes back to WWE under the HHH, it also means Candice would come back, I hope. I think she should be put on the main roster, but if for whatever reason she's in NXT, she should beat Mandy. Candice deserved that belt. Candice did deserve that belt many times over. Candice LeRae is an amazing, amazing wrestler, and of all the ones that never got a chance to actually hold, that belt.
She and Bianca, and Bianca's doing great now. So,
yeah, the thing is, Bianca kind of it got made up for because she's one of the biggest stars on the main roster. So, Candice never got brought up. Yeah.
She never got her due.
Yeah. Luis saying that after last night's Raw Talk promo, Ciampa is going to cook. Yeah, it was a really good promo, but it was all about how The Miz is awesome. And so I kind of didn't think it was that great of a promo because the subject matter I disagreed with so vehemently. Yeah, it was a really good promo. Really well delivered. Just was all about how The Miz is the best ever. And I no, that's not true. Todd Starr saying NXT was up.
You're missing that he's awesome. So
Todd Starr says NXT was okay tonight. Anyone expecting immediate changes and wholesale improvement overnight were being totally unrealistic. It wasn't perfect. Neither was Raw. But I don't feel I wasted my time watching either. Patience, everyone. Yes, we all must show patience. And the thing of it is that I hope we're not being forced to say that in 2 months,
6 months,
6 months, a year.
Well, realistically, there was just no way in the go home to a pay-per-view that you can change too much.
Right.
But seeds of hope make me happy. I think the biggest thing that they did tonight was address the women's tag picture, which I think is good. That was dire.
Right. Yeah. By the way, we have a show on the Know Your News network.
Know Your News.
KYNchat.com if you would like to put in a formal request. This is an informal request from Jake Salazar. It says, can y'all review Velocipaster on Know Your News? Maybe. I don't know. That's the whole thing. We're going to start taking requests now. That might be thought of as a request.
On the request line.
We got to do all the ones that Jimmy Van requested first because he's the boss.
Our boss.
Okay. Here we go. Now we're into the jukebox, and there are some hazards along the way. Jake Salazar says, Sir Luis, make sure my songs from last week are not forgotten. LOL. They haven't been forgotten. We're going to save them for last because my goodness. We get one. It says, NCB says, I would like to hear goofy Nathan Frazier singing Controlla by Drake.
Excellent.
I blame you.
Nathan Fraser is so over because Bob's your uncle.
I think I'd lie for you. I think I'd die for you. Jodeci cry for you. Do things when you want me to, like controller, yeah? Controller, yeah? Okay, you like it when I get aggressive. Tell you to go slower, go faster, like controller, yeah? Controller, yeah. And I'm never on a wasting, shorty. I do it how you say you want it. Them girls, they just want to take my money. They don't want to make me to give you nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't want me to see you find your loving. They don't want to see me smiling back when they knowing I'd lie for you, thinking I'd die for you, Jodeci cry for you, do things when you want me to, like controller, yeah, and Bob's your uncle. Yep.
You weren't really that dopey as Nathan Fraser is that time.
No, that time I was just looking out for potholes. Can Nathan Fraser sing "Sign of the Times" by Harry Styles? I don't know. Let's find out.
Safer,
okay.
A safer one.
Well, yes, yeah. Just stop your crying. It's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show. I hope you're wearing your best clothes. You can't bribe the door on your way to the sky. You're looking pretty good down here. But you ain't really good. We never learn. We've been here before. Why are we always stuck in running from the bullets to bullets? We never learn. We've been here before. Why are we always stuck in running from the bullets to bullets? Just stop your crying. It's a sign of the times. We got to get away from here. We've got to get away from here. Just stop your crying. It'll be all right. They told me that the end is near. We got to get away from here. And Bob's your uncle.
That was more fun. Thank you.
More fun? Oh, yeah. Okay. This is all for you, apparently. Everyone just wants to see you happy because they make me sing this stuff as Nathan Fraser. It's true.
Thanks, fam.
Mm-hmm.
My boss wants me to shit my pants on air, and you guys want to see me smile. Thank you.
Jake Salazar says, random thought, but do you all remember Jesse and Festus? Can Linda sing their theme song, Biscuits and Gravy? Do you remember Jesse and Festus? Worth looking up. There we go. Biscuits and gravy made me a man. Oh, biscuits and gravy made me all that I am. Ain't no ham and egger, something you've always been. Don't you go threatening. Don't you go messing with me. Better close your eyes, 'cause something is coming you shouldn't see. Biscuits and gravy, you're a fit for a king. Oh, biscuits and gravy, simple and clean, but now you stepped on my gravy, and now I gotta get mean.
Why you gotta get mean? It's just the gravy.
Because you stepped on my gravy.
Well, it was an accident. I would never touch.
Festus was.
I'm familiar with Festivus.
No, Festus was played by Luke Gallows. At like 24, and already balding as hell and looking like he's 35. He has said that when he came back as Doc Gallows years later, Vince did not remember that he was Festus. Because he looked different. And his whole thing that he was basically brain dead. Jesse was this little redneck who had a giant brain dead guy around, but then if you pissed him off, he went into like this crazy I'm gonna kill you thing. It was actually a fairly solid little gimmick.
I have seen snippets. I did not recognize by name.
There you go. Okay. Alex says EJM. I think I want to hear Nathan Fraser giving us a moving performance of I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis.
I think calling it audible, Nathan Fraser and maybe some additional members should be.
I mean, yeah, it really. Listen, I Dreamed a Dream is a Linda song if there was ever one. But here we go. Maybe she'll sing a different part. Hold on. There was a time when men were kind, when their voices were soft and their words inviting. There was a time when love was blind and the world was a song and the song was exciting. There was a time when it all went wrong. I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. That I was young and afraid, and dreams were made and used and wasted. There was no ransom to be paid, no song unsung, no wine untasted. But the tigers come at night with their voices soft as thunder, and they tear your hope apart as they turn your dream to shame. And Bob's your uncle.
Someday we'll just pick a song and I'll just yell characters at you. And you'll have to switch into modes. It'll be like Linda mode.
This is one. Jake Neal from yesterday wanted William Regal saying the lament of the Rohirrim from Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. And I believe I actually have that here. Here we go. Arise now, arise, riders of Theoden. Dire deeds awake, dark it is eastward. Let the horse be bridled, the horn be sounded. Forth, Erlingus. Arise, arise, riders of Theoden. Fell deeds awake, fire and slaughter. Spear shall be shaken, shield be splintered. A sword a day, a red day ere the sun rises. Ride now, ride to Gondor. War games. Battle frolic. I hope that's what he was looking for. Card Whiz wants us to do a duet, Kate.
Okay, I'm here.
Since Kate knows the lyrics to this last week, can we get a duet of Sue Me from Guys and Dolls starring Sheila and Tony D? P.S. Never have watched an episode of it 2.0 and probably never will. Love you guys. Love it. Okay. So then I guess you'd have to be hold on. I do hate these. You have to be Adelaide, and I guess I'd be Nathan. Yeah? You looking at this?
I am. Does it start with "You promised me this"? Oh wow.
I guess.
You promised me this, you promised me that, you promised me everything under the sun. Then you give me a kiss and you're grabbing your hat and you're off to the races again. When I think of the time, goodbye. That's
Adelaide.
And I think of the way I tried.
Adelaide.
I could honestly die.
Call a lawyer and sue me. Sue me. What can you do? I love you. Give you a holler and hate me. Hate me. Go ahead, hate me. I love you.
Is that enough, or do we keep going?
Probably. I don't know.
The best years of my life, I was a fool to give you.
All right. Already. I'm just a no good Nick. All right, already. It's true. So sue me. Sue me. What can you do me? I love you. And
you
that's
gamble it here. Oh,
that's
okay.
it. Yeah. Can't be doing this all night. What are we talking about here?
I know we are running way behind, but that's Sean's fault.
Yeah, it's Sean's fault. It's all Sean's fault.
True.
And Jake Salazar says, I'm going to throw Alex off. William Regal singing Runnin' by fellow Brit and my home Atlanta native 21 Savage. Okay.
Be careful.
Yeah. No, I'm there's a note at the bottom of this from Luis saying, I did heavy cleaning here. Thank you. Appreciate it. This is what now? William Regal? Called the first one Savage Mode. My mood, that's what it was. 2016 was riding around beating suckers up in the club. I know she around for the money, but she act like she loyal. I don't feel the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cause, on God. Her yams is hard because she spent a 5. My girl yams cost me a dub. All my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got butts. Straight up. I ate with the rat beef, Draco, nope. All of my ops get touched. Straight up, we never ran off on no barber, but still we'd be hopping out cuts. running, leave all my cars, running, all my ops speed, running, wipe his nose it was, running, Savage never did know. War games. I'm glad some of you like this. Honestly, I have no idea. Okay. Here we go. So, Jade Pringle says tonight Kate picks the song and Alex picks the impression.
An excerpt of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
Because that I feel like allows you to do a lot of voices.
Well, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, no, yeah, of course. Hold on. So we'll save that one for no. There we go. So I'll do that one in a bit. Oh yeah. So this is great. I love it. It's so funny. Jake Salazar sent in a couple of ones to try and get me canceled. He wants me to do WAP as Linda.
Look, macaroni in a pot is one of the best lines ever written. I'm sorry. It's so funny.
It's true.
We're 25 away, people. Subscribe to Fightful Select. I'm acting like it's a telethon tonight. Anyway.
This should be on a telethon. Here we go. Hold on. There's some hoes in this house. I said certified freak, 7 days a week. Wet, gushy, make that pull-out game weak. Yeah. You're dealing with some wet and gushy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet and gushy. Give me everything you got for this wet and gushy. Beat it up, baby. Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this cookie right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top. I want to ride. I'll do a kegel. I'm kind of wild. Look at my mouth. Look at my thighs. This water is wet. Come take a dive. Tie me up like I'm surprised. Let's role play. I'll wear a disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage. Make me dream. Make a stream. Out in public. Make a scene. I don't cook. I don't clean. But let me tell you how I got this ring. It's
important that you stop there.
I need to stop here because
this was, however, very reminiscent of your wedding vows to husband number 4.
Okay, and Jake Salazar also, because he likes to ruin my life, says, can Linda sing Pony by Genuine?
Oh, we woke up the porn bots.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
Thanks a lot, Cardi B.
I'm just a bachelor looking for a partner, someone who knows how to ride without even falling off. Got to be compatible, takes me to my limits. Girl, when I break you off, I promise that you won't want to get off. If you're horny, let's do it. Ride it, my pony. My saddle's waiting. Come on, jump up on it. If you're horny, let's do it. Ride it, my pony. My saddle's waiting. Come on and jump up on it. Sitting here flossing, peeping your stilo. Just once if I have the chance, the things I would do to you and your body, every single portion. Sending chills up and down your spine, juices flowing down your thigh. If you're horny, let's do it. Ride it, my pony. And so on and so forth.
I didn't know there was a whole song about horses.
Listen, I'm going to need a horse lawyer if I keep talking like this. I think
it's true. It's very true.
Jake Salazar rejoicing for he has conjured the porn bots.
Follow the porn bots.
Yeah. Here we go. Bohemian Rhapsody. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the sides, and see I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Anyway, the wind blows, doesn't really matter to me. Mama, I just killed a man. I put my gun against his head and pulled my trigger. Now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, ooh, ooh, ooh. Didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, because nothing really matters. Too late. My time has come. Sends shivers down my spine. Body's aching all the time. Man with a mask, hello. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Got to leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, ooh. Anyway, the wind blows. I don't want to die, and sometimes wish I'd never been born at all.
Oh, that's sad.
War games.
Jake, you got to stop.
Linda's going to sing that next week.
I didn't even know Ricky Starks was
Freddie Ricky. There you go.
The composer of said song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my God. William Regal singing "What" by Captain Sensible. I don't even know what this is.
Next week.
Next week. Jake.
We're at 2:20. Jake. We're pushing it even for us.
Jake. I love you, Jake. Jacob.
You gotta get him in earlier. That's what she said.
We'll talk. We'll do all these things next week, Jacob. Jacob. That's enough.
Jacaniel.
Kate, why would they want to find you later? But
I have no idea.
Where would they find you?
Probably because I'm a wrestling writer is why you would want to find me. But you can find me at Miss Kate Fabe on TikTok and Twitter, or Kate's Grams on Instagram. You can catch me at the AEW Rampage post show every Friday, the Mark Order podcast every Wednesday, talking all things All Elite. And darn it, if we don't have a Fightful Select post show for SummerSlam. That's right. Subscribe to Fightful Select. Because if 24 more of you do right now, Sean Ross Sapp will buy you a car at this Toyota-thon. Not really. But subscribe to Fightful Select so that you can hang out with me and with Alex behind the paywall, reviewing SummerSlam. It's going to be a hoot.
Jake, Tony D can sing that next week.
Jake, it's time for bed. Jake, brush your teeth.
Kate and I have another podcast to record now, okay? It's just getting a bit ridiculous, but we love you, and you can listen to us talk about the movie Stay Tuned on Thursday for Know Your News. It is a very wacky movie.
It's real weird.
Small shout out to Luis for cleaning those songs. Yes, big shout out. The biggest shout out ever.
Enormous, huge,
gigantic shout out. Jesus. All right. Okay. Everybody. Thank you so much. And until next time, for the love of God, keep cool, gabagools.